model agency is like a sketchy business. A friend of mine had a really small agency back then. He liked to sleep with the girls he had in his agency.
Wait, hold on a second. So he said if you want to work there, you have to sleep with him?
Today's guest is Janina Karelly, entrepreneur, investor, and co-founder of Addicted to Models, one of Austria's leading international modeling agencies, working with brands like Gucci, Prada, and Vogue.
So this is the deep talk coming here. Gucci called us. They want to book a model of us. After 3 months, we already booked the show for Dolce & Gabbana. So we manage right now 400, 500 models.
What are sort of like the challenges for running a model agency?
It's like a big kindergarten.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I know why, but I want to hear more. I'm always scared of all the woke agendas that are being pushed everywhere, especially when you see like the Victoria's Secret.
Plus size is getting more and more. Also like ugly models.
Do they specify like, hey, we need someone uglier?
They call it edgy.
Oh, they call it edgy? Do you think the business model is going to be sustainable over the next 5 to 10 years?
Right now we fired everyone and tried to automate it.
Just AI the shit out of everything?
AI, and I think it takes like 2 or 3 hours per week.
I always just thought about real estate as just buying it in cash.
It's actually the dumbest thing to do, to buy it in cash. Because
but that's still...
it's like a cheat code to wealth.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. It's been super cool to get connected with you and your business partner and everything. How did you find out about my podcast?
Well, you are like everywhere on social media.
Really?
So
it's epic.
I follow a lot of people that you interview, like Nikki Bra or like Misha.
Bra, shout out.
So later or sooner, you come to your podcast.
Did you work with Nikki?
I was in his coaching, yes.
No shit.
Yeah.
How did you like it?
It's like a total different approach because I was vegan as well, like many, many years ago. But you get such a different view if you work with him. Like, I feel so much better. I don't have allergies anymore. And it's like, yeah, so much better and so much easier.
It was the same for me. I was vegetarian for 12 years. And then I followed him. And he's like, oh, you got to eat meat. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should. And I started eating meat. So good.
Yeah.
I mean, for me as a man, testosterone was a huge thing. So my testosterone was super low over the years from 12 years of not eating properly. But it's interesting. The world is such a village.
Yeah.
Such a fun. And also, you told me that you know Sandra, who was on the podcast.
Exactly.
She works in one of your companies.
Yes, in the model agency.
Sick.
She's a model agent, does the social media, some administrative stuff. So, yeah.
Damn. Okay, so how many businesses do you have right now?
So the model agency and a social media agency, and we are doing real estate. So fix and flip, like holding long term. That's my main business right now.
Damn. You got 3 fucking businesses. How do you balance these 3?
I don't. So it's like where it burns, I go. So I have to find more like a structure there. But right now it works. So in the model agency, we have a lot of employees. So there's not much work for me, just the strategy. We're structuring a little bit everything differently right now. But as a social media agency, I did so much automation right now. And yeah, also want to focus more and more of the real estate because in the other businesses or in the social media in general, you're just like a bitch to the clients. And I don't want to be that anymore. So yeah, I want to be my own boss and nobody can talk to me how I should do stuff. And yeah.
I want to talk about all of the businesses because it's so interesting. When you reached out and I of course I checked out your Instagram, I'm like, damn, she does all these things, and it's all super interesting business models. So with the model agency itself, how did you get the idea of that? And what is the agency called again?
Addicted to Models.
I've seen that before. You know why? Okay, because when I go on Instagram, my For You page is full of attractive girls. And I always go to their profile, and so many I see Addicted to Models. And I'm like, damn, nice. That's a good agency. So how did you start with that?
Yeah, funny story. I was in school of graphic design in Graz, and I needed an internship back then. Didn't get any in the graphic design bureaus. And a friend of mine had a really small agency back then. And I asked him, hey, I get no internships. Can I do it with your agency? And he said yes. So I did the internship. And he told me some things. It was like really sketchy stuff also, because he liked to sleep with the girls he had in his agency.
Wait, hold on a second. So he said, if you want to work there, you have to sleep with him?
No, that's not, because I was working on the business side,
Okay.
but he was sleeping with some of the models.
And you learned that, and you're like, yo, what are you doing?
Model agency is like a sketchy business. I learned there. So yeah, but still I had to do the internship. So I did the graphic design stuff and everything, did some like small bookings back then. And then after the internship, I decided, or we agreed, that I still help in the agency. And I got my ex-boyfriend also in, because he also had time. He was like doing the civil service back then. And after some time, we managed like 80% of this small agency. And it was just that the old boss held us back and slept with the models. So this was not a way we wanted to pursue long term. So we decided, after a fight with this boss, that we just build our own agency. And that was from our children's room. So
wow,
we were like 18 back then.
Damn. And what is like, I have a friend of mine who also runs a pretty big model agency in Austria, and I worked together with him. I was doing a lot of the castings in Ukraine, because he couldn't get there. He couldn't get a visa for it. So I was doing a lot of the castings for that agency. And I didn't really get that much insight into the business side of things, because I was just doing the castings, and I made so much money from my main business that the expenses were just negligible for me. But what I'm wondering is, like, what are sort of like the challenges for running a model agency, and how are the profit margins?
It's like a big kindergarten.
Yeah.
So we manage right now like 400, 500 models, which is quite a boutique agency in the model agency world. Why? Because their agency is managing 3,000, 4,000. But it's our style. And profit margins are like 40%. So
No shit.
Yeah, we take 20% of the model, and 25% from the model, and 20% from the client.
Okay.
And that's low in Germany and Austria, because you can't take more. But in Milan, Paris, agencies take like 50, 60, 70%.
From the model and the client?
Like altogether.
Wow. Damn. Okay, so if you have 400 to 450 models, how many of those are like legitimately active, actually doing gigs? Or are all of them doing that?
Like, we focus on the high quality models, so they work all pretty well. I would say 90% are really professional models.
Wow.
And they decide themselves if they want to pursue something else or just full-time modeling.
That's interesting. How much does a model get on average per photo shoot or something like that?
So of course there are the really low paid jobs that are like 100 euros or something. That is like really for the beginners. But a professional model that doesn't work under 1,000 euro. So better like 1,500, 2,000 per day.
For one day, yeah.
So if they work some days a month, it's good money for them.
Damn, yeah. I mean, these are all like girls in their 20s. That's like really good fucking money for like a couple days work. And they do that mostly internationally or nationally?
Like in Austria, there are not much like high paid jobs, of course. In Germany, they are, because there are online shops like Zalando, About You, like S. Oliver, all the big brands, Mercedes, for example, also. And also, so they're doing it internationally. And when they do campaigns, it's like more likely 15,000, 30,000, 20,000, 50,000. And the biggest job are like 150K.
Damn. When it comes to getting clients to book your models, what is your procedure there? Do you guys do outreach? Is it a lot of word of mouth? Do you compete a lot? Do they say, oh, well, this is other agency where we got a model that looks just like it, but cheaper? How does it look like?
So the big agencies all keep their like pretty same prices. So it's more competing with the agencies that destroy the market, that do really low paid stuff. But how we do reach out to clients in the beginning, really calling, writing, word of mouth. And now it's like they know us, or they see our model and they want to book them on social media, and they come to us. So the most funny thing, and it's like one of my favorite stories, is we sat at home, still in our like children's apartment from my father, and I was speaking to my back then boyfriend, and yeah, Gucci called us. They want to book a model of us. Her name was Laura, for the show, and they want to book her exclusively. So for 8 to 10K for this one show. And
excuse me, what does exclusively mean?
That they in this season can just run this show for this brand.
Ah, okay.
So it was really nice in the beginning that such big clients call us.
It's funny because there's like moments of game changers in any business where you're like, you get that one client that like makes you survive, or that one client that makes you get from one level to the other. And it's really funny when, exactly like you said, you get that phone call, you're sitting in your old room, like your children's room, and you get a call like, oh shit, okay, we just made 8 to 10K.
Yes.
That, I always say like entrepreneurship brings you to the highest highs, the lowest lows and the highest highs. And the highs always outweigh the lows as long as you keep at it. But you said earlier it's like a kindergarten. I think I know why, but I want to hear more.
Yeah, for example, when we switched the agency and made our own, after 3 months, we already like booked a show for Dolce & Gabbana for one of our male models. So was really the right decision to go. But this model is really chaotic. He was like, I think 25, 26 back then. And he got booked more and more for Dolce & Gabbana, also for the online shop. And he had to drive or fly from Vienna to Milan. Mm-hmm. And he missed the flight.
Of course.
And the job was the day after. And we needed this client. Of course, it's such a prestigious client. So what do? We drive him with the car to the border of Austria so he can get to a train and still do the job. Because if he doesn't, he has to pay 700 fee of not showing up. So this is what I mean with kindergarten. You have to check their schedules, if they reach the bus, the flights. So yeah, it's too stressful for me. So that's why we decided also in the business, Kevin, my co-founder, is more like prone to this and he can deal better with that. So being available 24/7 for your kids and managing everything. And yeah.
I mean, without sounding like an asshole, but when you're dealing with people who predominantly get paid to quote unquote look good, you cannot expect them having the best time management skills and logic thinking and taking responsibility. What is the peak of a model in terms of age?
Well, it changes nowadays. So normally I think depends, is it a fashion model or like a commercial model? Because you can do commercial model at any age. And this is really high paying stuff. But if you're doing like the high fashion stuff, like really young, the runways of the world, you would say, I think it's like you should be under 28. Better you start with 18 or something. And then you probably should switch to the more commercial clients like online shops and campaigns, so you can sustain your career.
So the fashion thing doesn't pay as well as the commercial thing?
It's much, much harder because there's much more competition. And every year, the designers want to book new talent, like the newest 17 years old, the new 16 years old, the new 18 years old.
Okay.
And you get thrown out easily if you don't step up in the first 1 or 2 years. You will be thrown out. And yeah.
What can models do apart from, like, how much is it just their looks, that they look special or look different, versus what can they actively control to become one of the next big thing?
So actually they can do a lot, because we have models that with no agency, with not the right height, with not the right age, they got clients like Guess or Victoria's Secret themselves, just with self-marketing.
Damn.
So it's really also a business if you want to become a model, and really you can rely on your agency, because the agency they have hundreds of models. They don't have time for everyone. So you have to see it as a business, to develop your book, to strengthen your strengths, and always develop and also push your social media. And it's work, and they think everything comes to them because they're pretty, but they have to put work in it.
What are it's really funny. I think 2 years ago I talked to a girl. She has an OnlyFans agency, so it's different, slightly different. But what she said, she's like, who's performing the best in terms of guys paying, it's not the prettiest models. It's the one that look, I wouldn't say the weirdest, but the ones that look different.
Yes.
The ones with the baby faces, or the ones with where like they have a gap in their teeth, for example. Is that something that big companies are still looking for?
Totally, because the classic beauty type, like you would say, blonde girl, tall, blue eyes, baby face, you think she's the most beautiful woman on earth, but she doesn't get booked. So it's really hard for us as well, because the girl has to be strange, it has to be diverse, and the really pretty models that are boring for the clients nowadays. You have to have like Mexican background, like Asian background, so you have something special in your face. Yes.
So they have to look strange, like you said.
Yes, it's the best thing.
Is there? I'm always scared of all the woke agendas that are being pushed everywhere, especially when you see like the Victoria's Secret catalogs and whatnot. It used to be all like models. Nowadays, it's like, overweight women and stuff like that. Do you feel that with the agency as well?
Yes. So plus size is getting more and more. Also, like not perfect things like stretch marks or something. So it's really hard for us as agency as well, because we focus on like the money girls, it's called in the agency business, that's like pretty but still special, that earn a lot of money. But then brands looking for like plus size models with strange features, even ugly models. So we don't want to go in that direction as an agency. So
do they specify like, hey, we need someone uglier?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You've had instances where they're like, this girl is too pretty, we need some ugly.
They
chick.
call it edgy.
Oh, they call it edgy? That's fucking funny.
And when even like the smallest brands like, I don't know, C&A or Chibo call for something like this, brands that are really like for the normal society, let's say, and they want edgy faces. Yeah.
Do you have edgy women reach out to you guys and be like, hey, I'm ugly, can you but I know this is gonna be a thing, so can you guys?
That's the hardest thing. So the edgy girls that really could be like top models, they don't reach out. So the women reach out, they are like, I would say, average pretty, because everyone tells them she's pretty, but these girls are not working.
Why not?
Yeah, it's too normal. If you're just, let's say, on a scale to 1 to 10, if you're an 8, it's not enough in modeling. So also all the influencers, all the Instagram girls, they don't work.
Damn. The Instagram girls I can understand, because they're in such an ecosystem of like all the dudes hitting them up, you're so beautiful, come to Dubai and shit like that. I can get it. They have a skewed perception of how pretty they actually are. That's really interesting. So it's changed. It's changed from this like we just need skinny girls to like more diversity shit.
Yes.
What about the guys? Is the standard they're changing as well?
Well, it was like a season where all the big brands wanted like black models because of like Black Lives Matter and everything.
Oh shit. Okay.
And then every agency, of course, looks for black models. But nowadays it's like also strange looking, special features, tattoos are more and more common right now at the guys. And yeah, just the cool dude or the nerdy dude.
I remember when I still lived in Vienna, a friend of mine was hired as a model, and then I joined him, and then the guy came up to me, he's like, you should work as well as a model. But then he asked me how tall I was. I'm like, 172. He's like, oh shit, no, you're too short, bro.
Yes. True.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Damn. And I had no idea that the profit margins are that high. But now that you say it, I mean, you don't have that much expenses.
That's right.
Especially because once you have word of mouth, you don't have to do any advertising. You don't have much staff. How many people work in the agency?
5.
Five people. Yes. And manage 450 models. Yeah, that's insane.
And the models get managed by like 2 or 3 people, so the others do different stuff.
Damn. How many like gigs do you guys do per month over all your models?
Depends. So like there are slow months like December or July and August, where like in August the whole industry like in Europe closes. You can
really?
Say.
Okay.
And then there is like September, where it's like every day something. So you can't really say from, I don't know, like 5 jobs maybe in August, where not much is, like to several jobs per day.
Damn. Okay, that's really interesting. Do you think the business model is going to be sustainable over the next 5 to 10 years?
Such a hard question because AI gets a lot here in the fashion
Oh
industry.
no shit! Already.
Yeah. So there are like brands that do their campaigns with AI models, and you see them already like on billboards.
Wow.
So this will be really like interesting. And also like online shops, they want to save on the daily costs because they have to shoot every day. So yes, this will be very interesting. And I think in the next like 3-4 years, there will be some changes in the industry and only the best can survive. And yeah, the old agencies that don't do the social media marketing right and don't try to be modern, they will die, even if they had Victoria's Secret models like 5 years ago.
Do you guys are looking into creating AI stuff? Do you adapt it?
Well, we did, but it's not a thing that in Germany and Austria clients will adapt soon. So we still wait until the technology is like on point that clients in USA, for example, use it, and then we can pitch it to clients in Austria and Germany.
Interesting. So you've tried, you fucked around with AI already.
I know how it works. It works really well. And
how does it work?
like there are avatars and you can dress them. You can just photograph, like the client can photograph their dress or something, and it will be on this like avatar, and it looks like nearly real.
Yeah.
You can also make videos from that, like the model walking with the dress. So
yeah, that is crazy that we've implemented that in our offers since a couple of months ago. End of 2024, we really started getting into this whole AI thing, because what I've been doing with my clients for many years now is social media content creation, right? Instagram Reels mostly, Instagram Reels and TikToks. And it used to be all like, well, film stuff, film yourself speaking or film B-roll and then slap the captions over it. And then it was like, well, now you can use AI tools to do the editing. So you film and you feed it in, and then it creates the subtitles for you, adds the GIFs, the emojis, and all that jazz, and the music and whatnot. And then it was like, okay, well, now you can... I remember 11 Labs coming out, and my team started posting videos of me, and it was B-roll footage of me doing things with my voice in the background. And I'm like, I never said that. What the fuck? I didn't record that. They just fed it text, and then it would be my voice, because obviously there's 1,000 hours of my voice out there, so it knows how I speak. And that was pretty cool already. And now it's like you said, it's like, okay, now you can just create avatars. You don't need to speak at the camera anymore yourself. And it's people still kind of see it if you really look at it. But then, and so we started implementing all this AI stuff for our clients, which makes it so easy to create content. It's like you don't need to shoot much anymore. You just use the AI stack system. You press a button, a bunch of buttons, and it, you take the script from here. The script is written already by ChatGPT, by Claude, by custom GPTs. You feed it in, you have a voiceover, the footage is being created, and now it edits, and now you can even do the publishing across all platforms done with AI tools, which is pretty sick. And what was I going to say? So, and now you see a lot of these AI influencer models that are not real. They're not fucking real. Even I have this. I'm like, wow, this girl is hot. And then it says like a digital creator, right? Or like digital model, whatever. I'm like, oh, that's an AI. Holy shit. And then you look closer and you're like, oh yeah, I see it. But then you look at the comments, and the comments are full of dudes saying, wow, you're so beautiful. Come hang out with me. And I'm like, oh, those guys don't even know. They're just legit falling in love with these girls. They don't exist. And then, of course, you can say, okay, whatever, you have 100,000 followers with this AI influencer girl. You just put a link there to your OnlyFans, which is, again, not a real girl. And then you have an AI chatbot chatting with all these users, all these lonely, desperate men that are now falling in love with this AI. And I think even when they do know, oh, this model doesn't exist, they still like the idea. They still like the feeling that this artificial intelligence gives them. Because I think loneliness is becoming a pandemic specifically for men, because men have it harder. We're like dumber when it comes to social dynamics. I know I've been teaching this for a very, very long time. So I think there's probably men that know, like, oh, I know this is not even fucking real, but it's better than being fucking lonely. So I think there's going to be some very, very interesting movements coming up in this regard, and also a lot of opportunities to make a ton of money.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, that's really interesting. So you had this model agency, you built it up. How many years have you had it?
Like 9, nearly 10.
Okay, so almost 10 years. And then you said, I want to build another business on the side or on top of that. That was then which one?
The social media agency.
The social media agency. So what was the thought process there? Was it a natural progression after the agency, or was it a completely different idea?
So I founded the agency. I have been in there like several years, and I wanted to like progress and do something else and evolve. So back then, we also ended our relationship back then with my co-founder of the model agency. And then, I was getting to know my new boyfriend. And he was like in the dropshipping business and had a sportswear brand, but he built it from the dropshipping in a real brand. And we like, this is one of my, I would say not red flags, but I like to do business with my partner. I think I can't imagine something more beautiful to build something together. And then we thought, okay, what can we do? And we saw like some influencer girl who made a shit ton of money with a social media agency, and we thought if she can do it, we can do it. And that's how it started.
What's your personality type? Have you ever done a test?
Yes, and I don't know the name anymore, but it's like the same as Nelson Mandela, like only 3%.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me Google that.
Yeah,
real quick.
Google it.
So is it introvert or extrovert?
I'm introvert, but I don't know what is description there.
Let's see. Nelson Mandela. It's the 12 personalities. Okay. 12 so that's funny that you remembered that personalities test result. Is he still alive?
I don't know.
What is Nelson Mandela's result? Okay, no, that doesn't make. What was Nelson Mandela's personality type? Introvert, intuitive, feeling, judging, INFJ. The name of that is man. You know what? I'm not even using Google anymore. It's so shitty. I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT. Hold on a second. What is Nelson Mandela's personality type according to the 12 personalities test? Let's see what comes out. That's another thing. Google is clunky as fuck if you compare it now with ChatGPT. Nelson Mandela associated with the INFJ personalities, Myers-Briggs was advocate.
Yes.
That's you.
Advocate, yes.
Interesting. What do you think is mine?
I heard it in a podcast.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay,
so it's like, but I can't remember now.
It's Commander.
Yeah, true.
Which is weird, but also kind of totally makes sense. Like I love talking to people. I love commanding people. Although I'm very much an introvert, at least I feel like one. As I could tell, like when I do 2 podcasts in a day, that's really tough for me.
Like social battery is empty.
Completely empty. Even though I love talking. It's so weird. I love the talking, but then I really need a rest from that.
Crazy.
So because that's interesting that you said like you love there's nothing more beautiful than building something together with your partner. That's a very, very interesting thing you said there. But at the same time, it's risky, right? Because you said like the first business you put the model agency, you broke up with the partner. How were you able to still be in a productive, not love relationship with your partner after you've been in a romantic relationship with them?
So this is the deep talk coming here.
Yeah.
We were together since I think I was 16. So 7-8 years we were together. And we built the agency together, everything really beautiful relationship. And it went in a different direction somehow, because I was so much focused on him because I'm very introverted back then. And also we're like the outsider in school and everything. So all my attention went to him. And of course, other people, I didn't pursue that much, the relationships and everything. So I was really anxious about like calling even a doctor or something.
The classics. Yeah.
And then it came more and more that I thought that I needed like validation from outside. So it went in that direction that I pushed into an open relationship. And that didn't work out, and it wasn't also not what I really wanted, because I thought this is what I want, but it was just like getting validation from the outside world, because I was always the outsider, and I wanted to like heal it in the total wrong way.
Damn. And then you guys broke up and said, but let's still stay friends and run this fucking business.
This is still the business. We have to run it. We are the leaders of that. So of course it was hard, but we have not necessarily to be in the same room. So in the first few months, of course, we just like chatted and everything remote. So it was not that hard in that case. And yeah, still be grown up and put the business first. And it shifted from a very, of course, we had a relationship, very personal relationship to a more like business and more like on the surface relationship. But still, it works now. We are friends now. Everything, the hard time passed by, and now still working great together.
That's not a small feat, you know, that really, like, not many people can pull this shit off. It reminds me a lot of my parents. They got divorced after 10 years of marriage, many, many, many years ago. I think I was 10 years old. And they made it work. And I've had so many friends of mine whose parents also got divorced. And they told me horror stories of, like, I hear my parents screaming at each other. When my father calls my mom, they always fight. And I'm like, what? I don't have, what? No, my parents got divorced. They say hi to each other. They're cool. They're like, it really, really, like, the older I get, the more I realize how hard that is to pull that off. And that's very similar to what you guys did, to just say, like, okay, even though on a personal level this doesn't work out anymore, we still need to fucking run the business. That's very, 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 it's a sign of a very strong character for both of you guys. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
And then you built the second business with your second partner.
Yes, exactly.
And that was then the social media agency.
Yes.
And then what are, like, sort of like the parallels that you learned from the modeling agency with social media marketing?
Completely,
if there are any,
different approach, because in the beginning of the model agency, I also did the booking and the client stuff and everything, but this was never my strength. So we decided one day, you have your area, I have mine. And in the social media agency, I developed a lot what in this area it's not my strength. So like selling, making pictures, sales calls and everything like that. So yeah, I developed in the model agency in a different area and in the social media agency.
So you mean you did the sales calls, or you did not do the sales calls?
I did them in the social media agency.
No shit. Because it's a very masculine kind of trait to do the sales. I mean, you strike me as an extremely competent and confident person now, but how was it when you started? The sales calls specifically?
Oh my God. I hated it. I still hate it, but I just learned how to do it. So
no shit.
I can remember times I was afraid, it sounds so silly, to sit with my father alone in a room because I didn't know what to talk about him.
Wow.
And
with your dad?
He was always away when I was a child, but still he's my dad. And yeah, and I was afraid to call a doctor or something like this. So really small stuff I was still afraid to do at 23, 24, still running a successful model agency. And then doing sales calls is like complete highest form you can do.
What is your sort of advice for young women watching this right now? And they're like, okay, shit, I'm afraid of the same fucking things. How did you get out of that?
Feel bad and do it anyway.
That's a really good one, actually. So it's not like trying to fight the feeling, just accepting it and doing the same shit anyway.
But when you get like success, it makes fun. It is funny. So
fuck yeah! I mean,
it starts to make fun. Yeah.
Yeah, but you must. Here's what I always think of. One of my best friends and business partners, his wife is Ukrainian, and she's also beautiful, and every time she tries to sell something, especially via video, the guys just start hitting on her. She's like, I'm here to fucking sell you the thing, but the guy's like, oh, let's go meet, like, let's go for dinner. And she's like, hey, shut the fuck up. I'm fucking married, okay? I'm sure you've had guys like that as well. How did you navigate away from that and be like, hey, listen, don't fucking invite me for dinner. We're talking about business here.
Yeah, as a woman, it's really hard to get really the respect from men. So the only advice I can give, I don't make the game, I just can play by the rules. So I wear my glasses, I wear my suit, and they are more like, not saying afraid, but I'm more in the masculine side, so they don't hit on me.
No shit. So it's a lot about the appearance.
Yes, it is. Unfortunately, it is how it is, but I can't go there with like cleavage.
Yeah.
Of course.
Interesting. I mean, I get it. I have to play with this too because, I'm a business consultant, but I have fucking finger tattoos and hand tattoos. So I realize it too. It's like, this is as casual as I get. A Philip Plein shirt. Like, if I would go even more casual than that, it would instantly fuck with my authority, no matter how much money I made. So usually I make sure that in like 90% of my video appearances, I wear a shirt with a collar, like a polo shirt or a turtleneck, because I know like I cannot afford with my tattoos, and also because I'm younger, I'm not a 50-year-old guy with white hair yet. I cannot afford as much casualty in my appearance. And funny enough, it's more important in Europe than in the US.
Okay.
US doesn't give a fuck. It's funny. There's like dudes in the US that are crushing, like Jeremy Haynes, great guy to have on a podcast. Sick agency, one of the best agencies in the world. This guy's just in a shirt and shorts on his in all of his videos, and the Americans don't give a fuck. I mean, Ty Lopez, he does a lot of his videos without a shirt in his bed. Like, all right, guy, 67 steps, like no shirt. And Americans, they eat that shit up. They don't care. But Europeans are like, oh, this doesn't look serious.
Yeah.
Unseriös, how do you say in
Yes.
German, It's so funny. But that's one thing I learned from my German mentors back then. I'm sure you know the Baulig guys.
Of course.
Shout out to Andreas and Marcus. They were hammering that in. They were like, what the fuck are you wearing? You look like a fucking hobo. You look like a crypto chode. So yeah, it's funny. It's very, very funny that this is the European market. We put way more value on it.
First impression.
Exactly. So, okay, so you do the social media marketing agency. You, how many people work there in total? How many employees you got?
Like right now, we fired everyone.
What?
And tried to automate
Just
everything.
AI the shit out of everything?
AI, and I think it takes like 2 or 3 hours per week for us. So it's much more uncomplicated than hiring somebody in this case.
So what processes did you automate and how?
Like, of course, we work with some freelancers, of course, but like caption writing. So we have to differentiate which clients we have. So we can do the social media stuff that works, that goes viral, that takes a lot of time to create, because we have clients like Mercedes, Audi, Rolls-Royce, and they're really like stiff in their rules, and you can't do much creative there. So actually, it's really easy to create content for them, because you get a lot of content from them, you write a caption, and it's not much work then.
Can I go to Rolls-Royce Austria or Germany and it's your content?
It was, but yeah, you can in Rolls-Royce Vienna.
No shit. On Instagram or what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so because I've just read about that in Gary Vee's latest book. What is it called? Day Trading Attention. He talks exactly about that. He's like, most of these like super old school car brands, fashion brands, they're like, it's super easy to create content because they have all these rules. Like, you can't show this, you can't show that. It's got to be super high quality. It's got to be this font, this color, and so on and so forth. So it's interesting to hear that from you too. Rolls-Royce Vienna. And so they just reach out. Is it this one?
Yeah, it's the most boring account ever.
Yeah. The one with Rolls-Royce Vienna. There you go. Okay, so they come to you and they basically say, okay, you need to show this car and this caption. That's it?
Not the caption, but they don't know that we use ChatGPT because they're not in this age yet. So
of course not. They're like 80-year-old CEO dudes.
Exactly.
So do you get the visuals from them? I'm like, there's like, here's the photos.
Depends. Sometimes we shoot there, but sometimes we get the visuals. So we mix it.
Interesting. And what is sort of like the contract you have there? Like, you got to post once every 3 days, I see here, it looks like.
Depends. So this is a like dealership that has several brands. So they focus more on the other brands because Rolls-Royce is not there.
The main
like in Austria,
yeah.
Rolls-Royce, you don't see them so often.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, depends. They are more focusing on the other stuff, and it's like 4 times a week, and you see Rolls-Royce not so much.
Interesting. And then is the goal? Do you have any sort of key metrics that you need to hit in terms of impressions or something, or do they just say just post? And
well, you can't really hit so much if you can do viral content. So
what would you do in terms of viral content when you say like, okay, if we got like 0 restrictions from those guys?
Like there are funny car videos, like really making the best out of the location, also with the car driving in front of a castle with a Rolls-Royce, for example. There are so many things you can do. And also, like, I think in Dubai, they make it really well with like models and everything. And we pitch them everything we can do. But no, it's too, our clients don't want that. So that's also a reason why this business was not for me. So we keep our clients we have there, but it was not fulfilling because you can't put your knowledge into work.
Where do you find inspiration for viral content if you do have a project where you need to find some viral ideas?
I put the most like searched for keywords in. When I say it's now real estate, I put like Immobilien. I look just for the content that goes over 1 million, and
Classic.
I try to reproduce it.
Okay, that's literally the exact same procedure we use as well. Okay, that's cool. And then, so you automate most of the caption writing with ChatGPT. What else you automate?
So that's pretty much it. So the pictures we get, and it's just like 2-3 hours per week planning all the contents for the car clients.
Sick. That's it.
And before we had like employees, but they made then a like grammar mistake or something. And
Of course,
for these clients, it's like a total nightmare.
Yeah.
And then it was less work doing it ourselves. But
That's the beauty of it.
just a pitch of a client, for example.
Yeah.
Again.
That's the beauty of it. It's like, not only can you use AI to create your content, but you can then also just say, well, I'm going to create content for like a bigger business and, whatever, charge 5,000 a month. Oh, but now you got to do all the things. Yeah, well, AI does the work for you. That's the craziest part. You can take the AI knowledge, the AI content creation knowledge, and you don't even need to apply it to your own brand. You can just build someone else's brand and just get fucking paid for that. Because there was a huge trend of social media marketing agencies. It was actually started by Ty Lopez back in the days, or at least he was one of the biggest proponents. That was back in 2017, 16, 17, something like that. And now it's all like, oh, social media marketing agency with AI. Because the biggest issue with social media marketing agencies, apart from being the bitch of the client, quote unquote, is the delivery side of things. So you can make a lot of money per client. You can charge extremely high prices, but then you're stuck with delivery. And the big bottleneck that I used to see with clients of mine, because obviously we had a lot of agency clients that had agencies that we helped to scale, it was always the delivery, because then they're like, okay, I can deliver myself, but now I have so many clients, I need to delegate, so I need to outsource. Okay, now I got to find someone, now I got to hire them, now they suck, now I got to manage them, now I got to find someone else, hire, fire, and they get so frustrated by that because it's a skill set in and of itself to find the right people, hire the right people. Make sure you don't just believe anything someone says in a fucking interview just because they want the job. But nowadays, a single person can do the job of 10, 15 freelance designers, copywriters. And again, it's like, first of all, you don't need to pay the AI. The AI doesn't need to get paid. The AI doesn't ask for time off. There's no Christmas or birthdays or sleep for the AI. And the coolest thing is like the AI work for like small petty mistakes, like you said, grammar mistakes. The AI writes perfect fucking grammar. It's fucking perfect. I always made the joke, like once we started incorporating AI for a lot of the things that humans used to do, it's employee of the month every single fucking year. ChatGPT, employee of the month. The biggest one we saw for us, I'm not sure how relevant that is for you guys with the agency, but DMing. A lot of people have appointment setters. They used to have appointment setters. And interestingly enough, I've seen the rise of appointment setter jobs over the years. It went from you would hire an appointment setter in your country that you'd have to pay a full-time salary of like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month to, but now all these third world countries catching up with this, so now you can hire someone from the Philippines or from Thailand or India to do the DMing for you. So now you go from paying $2,000 to $3,000, $4,000 a month to $500 a month, and then now it's like, now you use AI for that. Because the problem is, even if you do have employees that cost you relatively little, and even if they do a great job, you still need to manage them. You still have to control that they're hitting their KPIs, set up the KPIs, hire, train, and manage these people. And then they leave, or they get sick, or they can't do it anymore, or they're unhappy. Now you have to retrain someone else. Now we have really extensive internal trainings, meaning around 80% is completely done automatically. When a human comes in, they're trained automatically, but there still needs to be a human aspect to it. And with the AI, it's like you train it once. You train it a single time. Here's my tonality. Here's the voice, the quote unquote voice that I want you to have. Here's the offer. Here's the avatar. Here's the type of communication that we usually have. Here's a glossary with the most common objections that people might have before they want to hop on a call or buy a low ticket program in the DM specifically. Now go. You program it once. We do this for our clients when someone says, hey, can I use your AI system to do my DMing? You do this once. It takes 2-3 days to set it up, and then it works. Sure, if you have a new offer, you have to train the AI on the new offer, which is another 2-3 days of work. But that is basically it. And again, like, it works 24/7. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't get mad. It's very, 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 very beautiful. And the thing is too, I had Chris, shout out. He's the guy who manages the AIs for our clients, and he's been working with us for 1.5 years. And he came to us as an appointment setter. We hired him as an appointment setter, and he was really smart about it, because a lot of appointment setters are now complaining that their jobs are being taken away by AI. And Chris was like, my job's going to be taken away by AI. He saw the writing on the wall. So he said, I'm going to make my own fucking AI and now sell the AI. So he worked himself up from being an appointment setter to being the lead appointment setter in my company, to then being also the head of coaching appointment setting to our clients, to building the AI, because of course he knew it the best himself because he's been doing it every day, to now running an AI company together with us, and we're delivering this with our clients, which is fantastic. And of course, hearing from you that you're automating everything in a social media agency. So you did the social media agency, you're sick and tired of that, and then you landed in real estate, which is pretty intimidating. Real estate is like risk, a lot of costs. You're not doing digital shit anymore. You're like buying physical stuff. How was the transition, and how did you learn this in the first place?
So I already invested when I just had the model agency.
Oh, no shit.
Because you have to invest nowadays. I think the pension system will break sooner or later.
Yeah.
So I always was interested in stocks and real estate. So yeah, after also my boyfriend sold his shares of his agency, we thought, okay, we don't want to do the social media agency anymore. What are we going to do next? Yeah. Then we talked, and yeah, real estate, it's a passion of both of us. We already invested in apartments. We already learned the important stuff. We had made a lot of mistakes, also like meat nomaden, like people that are...
Oh, how do you say that in English? Rental nomads.
Yeah, that destroy everything. Oh my God, other story than that. And yeah, I pushed, let's do a personal brand in real estate, in the real estate niche, because there is not much in Austria and Germany. It is relatively small, and yeah, go full into real estate. And now we are buying for a long-term hold, and also fix and flip. Mm-hmm. So fix and flip is like we buy an apartment, we renovate it and sell it with a profit. So profit is around 40 to 100K per apartment.
Nice.
And
over what period of time?
Like 6 months, 3 months, depends on the apartment.
Sick.
And yeah, really not easy work, because you have to do the mistakes before, of course, but nobody can fuck you off. Of course, you have to they build something, they make mistakes, but I don't renovate myself. So I just give it to people that renovate it and just manage it. And then it's a huge profit. So really nice business. And from these profits, of course, we buy the long-term apartments, which we finance with with a bank. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we build our portfolio, and hopefully, or we can already live from that, but just gets more and more.
You didn't necessarily need the personal brand to do that, though.
No, so it's just an add-on.
Why? What made you think? I mean, it's a pretty fucking genius move, not gonna lie. But what was your thought process of like, let's do it with a personal brand right away?
Well, it was a goal. It was a goal before to push in the personal brand, because without, I think, you're lost in the next years. So better hop on that trend. It's already quite late, I would say. But build a personal brand. It's always an add-on. And now we got already so much deals from the personal brand. My boyfriend does also real estate coaching.
Ah, that's genius. Okay. So the deals that come to you, these are people that want to flip or they want to buy.
They want to sell their apartment, or like makler. It's like real estate agents.
Agents, yeah.
They give us objects off market.
Oh, sick. Because of the personal brand.
Yes.
And then your boyfriend teaches that to people. They're like, hey, you want to crush it like us? Go buy my program. It's a high-ticket program, I guess?
How to buy the first apartment.
Interesting. And you can probably finance it in Austria without much of your own money?
You have a little percentage, but yes, yeah, you can.
Interesting. You know Carles, right? I've had him on the podcast.
I know,
yeah. Yeah. And he has that too. I think he has this like whole, like, you can buy it without your own money.
In Germany, it's possible without. And I sell that one. I can, so if clients see that on my Instagram, I connect them with like building companies in Germany where they can buy without their own capital.
Interesting. You can't do that in Austria?
No, because of the regulations.
Okay, so you have to buy it with your own cash, or at least to a degree your own cash.
Yes.
How much percentage of the total price you need to have your own cash?
Like 10-15%. So if you buy an apartment of 100K, you should have 15K.
Oh, that's still easy. And
still,
the bank
but
does the rest?
They does the rest, but find an apartment in a good location like Vienna for 100K. That's the first thing.
Whatever. What's a good starting price for Vienna? Like 500K then? 700 more, like probably like that.
What do you... Sorry, I didn't understand.
If I want to buy a good apartment in Vienna, a decent one as a start, how much can I expect it to cost?
Like for the first apartment, you should aim for a really small one, like 30 square meters, and like 150K would be a okay price if you don't have to renovate something. And it's important that it's a Neubau. So built after I think 54 or 56. So otherwise you can't collect a lot of rent because of the rules in Austria.
Oh, but that is still, and then I just pay 15K, and the bank takes over the rest.
Yeah, it's like a cheat code to wealth. Too less people do it.
And then, so I buy it, and then I rent it out, and then how much? Over what time period do I need to pay the bank back?
Depends on how long you take it, but like 25 years.
So over 25 years, then that means how much rent can I get from like a 30 square meter, like $500 a month?
We rent it for like 1,000.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's really fucking good. So I get $1,000 a month cash back from that. I guess when I buy the apartment, do you put furniture in it?
In this case, yes.
Okay, so you put furniture in. That's what, 20K up front that you have to invest into it?
IKEA is totally enough.
How much are we talking for a 30 square meter?
Not much. I think you can do it for 5K as well.
And that includes kitchen, bathroom,
kitchen
toilet?
Was already inside. Yes.
Okay, kitchen is inside. Okay, so it's 5K. That's like bed, shelf.
Some decoration, yeah.
The toilet's already in there too?
Yes.
Okay. So you buy it for 150K. You add 5K of furniture in there. You get 1K back. Out of these 1K per month, I pay how much back to the bank?
Like 450.
450. So I'm still like 55% profitable. I'm gonna do some of it. I'm gonna give you 15K today. I just don't know how that is for me because I'm tax resident of Cyprus. I probably don't want to have a lot of real estate in Austria because then I might slip into being a tax resident here.
As far as I know, it's just the real estate gets taxed here, and everything else is what you do is your thing.
That's even better. Does it get taxed over my personal income, or can I have it linked to my company?
I think personal income, because if you link it to the company, you have to make a GmbH here.
Oh, okay.
And then you have more problems with living abroad.
So I cannot have a foreign company own Austrian real estate?
You can, but then you have like, do you get the money from the bank?
Ah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Damn, I had never, because I always just thought about real estate as just buying it in cash. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, oh, I got like 300K, let me go buy some shit.
It's actually the, dumbest thing to do, to buy it in cash. Because if you buy one apartment with 100K, you can buy 10 apartments with the bank.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, and I mean, dude, if the bank only wants 45% of it over, and that's the 25-year thingy.
Yeah.
So I could also say I want to pay it off over 10 years and give you guys back like 700 or something.
Exactly, but with the inflation, the price of the property like rises, and you can also sell it after 10 years and have a good profit. And
That's so true. Okay. So you started with one like this and then just kept buying more and more?
yeah, because another perfect, beautiful thing is that the bank, you have the credit, but the income you get from the renters, they also apply that to your personal income. So your income doesn't get better, worse, I mean. So even if you have more apartments, your income gets more and more, and the bank rates you even better and better and better.
Oh, so you can get more and more loans.
Yes.
Interesting. I mean, I'm asking like the stupidest questions. People are like watching this like, Max is so dumb. But yeah, you know, I never really dealt with it. It's very, very interesting. So the thing is, I've talked to Alex before. Well, obviously he's very much into finance and investment as well. And for so many years, I'm always like, I should invest money. But then I'm always like, well, I invest in my own company, and if you have like a 4 or 5x return of ad spend, that's still the best fucking investment ever. Because I put in 50,000 in ad spend in a month, and within 30 days I make 200 to 250 back. You can't beat that. Plus you're in control of it. So whatever, let's say it's the 10th of the month and we're underperforming. You as the CEO, you can come in, you push the sales team, you quality control, you check out the funnels, you make sure everything is all right, and you have control over that. But then at the same time, at some point you're capped with that. At some point the ROAS just gets less, and also you want to have at least a little bit of outside money somewhere else in case shit hits the fan. And there, certain investments are great, and real estate sounds really good. What are some risks with a situation like the one we discussed that people can expect?
So as I said, if you choose the wrong renter, and I did it, for example, also my boyfriend, like the first apartment, right away the wrong renter. So he made parties there. He like sold the apartment as a party location.
Real on like Airbnb or something?
No, I think just privately on his friends, but they were making party like every day or so.
Jesus.
And yeah, he left the apartment like, I don't want to think about it too much. But yeah, you get you learn a lot, and you have to like check the renters more and more, and invest in good areas of the city. And Graz has too many apartments, so don't invest in Graz. But in Vienna, there were like people lining up for this apartment, paying €1,000.
When you said this guy rented it out for like parties and stuff like that, how much can you do as the owner legally? Can you sue them? Can you demand money from them? Can you have them cover some of the repairs?
Austria is like a really, really bad country for this, because everything is on the renter side, the legal stuff. So you can't just do things that are not legally correct. Maybe if he doesn't want to leave the apartment, change the
key, the lock.
Keys, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's it. And then you're just fucked.
You can sue him. It takes like 6 months. You lose money. It takes time, energy.
How do you... Okay, so you learned from that. What are you looking for in a renter to make sure that they're good and they're not going to fuck you over?
So, of course, first it starts with the property. You have to buy in a good location where you can like search for the right renters, and then you can ask them everything. Like if they want if you want the apartment, you can ask them, give me the last contact of your last apartment. I want to speak with the owner of your last apartment, and then you're 99% safe if you ask like certain things.
Are there certain demographics where okay, men in their 20s are bad renters, families are better? Are there certain demographics that are better than others?
You can't say. No.
Really?
No. Also, my friend in real estate, so experienced, still making happens sometimes that you make a bad decision, or you can't see everything.
Interesting. Did you have, or are there certain risks with the workers that renovate, because you're doing flipping as well, especially in Austria? Because in Austria we have a system, right? We have the Gesellen system and the Gesellen masters and stuff like that. So the people who offer such services need to be certified. Does that mean there's little to no risk on your side when you have someone do the construction work and the flipping?
Yeah, so the risk is not on my side then if they construct it. So I got lucky because we got the contacts from our network. So I never made bad experiences for the workers.
That's pretty good. So the only risk really is the renter then?
I would say. And if you have bad construction workers, but could happen.
Is there any sort of like insurance if there's like a water damage, weather damage, earthquake, God beware, shit like that?
Yeah, of course, for the renters, they have to do a like household insurance. It's like €10 per month.
So that would, if there's water damage, it will be covered by the renter. You don't have to do anything. What about if there's like an outside force, like an earthquake happening?
Like usually it's covered by the house insurance, so it's already in the building.
I mean, we are in Austria. There's like basically nothing. There's no fires like in California that are happening right now. There's no earthquake. I don't know if we've ever had an earthquake. No avalanches, no storms, no nothing. So that's pretty good. Yeah, that sounds really damn interesting.
Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying the podcast, make sure you, number one, drop a like and a comment if you're watching this on YouTube. Number two, if you're watching this on iTunes or Spotify, leave a 5-star rating. It helps a ton to get this podcast out to more people. It's been growing super duper well, and it helps me get more awesome guests like this one here for you. So make sure you do that. Thank you so much. I appreciate the living hell out of you. And now back to the episode.
So you built that personal brand. You're building that up right now. What's your goal with this? Do you see yourself doing this for the next 10, 15, 20 years?
So I like doing it, and it gets a lot of connections, and I will be in the real estate space. So it's just funny doing this creative stuff and also doing like the old school business real estate stuff. So it's just a fun way to work, because in the model agency, in the social media agency, I was building like a cage for myself again, going to the office, like learning employees what they have to do, always checking, and it's just not the way I wanted my future to be. So I want to be free, I want to travel, work from everywhere. And yeah, this all works with real estate and the personal brand.
Interesting. Do you do any sort of investments in real estate outside of Austria as well? Or do you have a plan?
Yeah, last year we were thinking about Bali, like building a villa there, renting it out. But still with location, and there are so much scammers there. We had a villa and we wanted to buy. But it came, like in the end, it was not built on like green area, so it was not even allowed to build there. So we're nothing for now.
In Austria, we're very, very spoiled with the legal system. It's hard to be scammed in Austria or Germany or Switzerland for that matter. I've heard horror stories of people that are used to real estate in Germany and Austria and then move real estate to Dubai.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, I invested 500K, gone. Just got scammed. And then you have the international law. Unless you're willing to go to fucking court over years and just drop thousands, tens of thousands of dollars into that, you can't do much anyways. So if I'm going to do real estate, after talking to Alex, he's against real estate. Like
really?
Yeah, he's like, no way I'm going to do that. It's all crypto. He does everything in Bitcoin. And it's so cool to talk to him and you back to back. And like I said, like it's with the company right now, we've had so many record months now, last year specifically, and then this year keeps getting better and better. I'm like, my brain is getting primed for like, I need to park my cash somewhere. So it's really interesting to hear, and it's a beautiful game to be in. It's a fucking beautiful game to be in, to just create value and get fucking paid and be a fucking badass. And it has a certain essence of conquering something. You know, you can't, there's not much to discover anymore. You can't sail somewhere to discover a new continent or some shit like that. But there's a lot to discover in yourself and in the business world within yourself. And you can conquer the business world and make a shit ton of money and then do beautiful things. Now, one thing I wanted to ask specifically, because you're in Austria, and I know the culture in Austria. As an Austrian myself, it's a lot of envy there. There's a lot of, oh, money isn't everything, fucking bullshit. Have you had encounters like this, friends and family, and how do you protect yourself from that?
Well, friends and family, not so much, but of course the comments in the Instagram it's full of, oh, it's not everything, money is not everything. Oh, you're so bad renting an apartment out for like €1,000. You're like scamming people. But I don't make the laws. I don't make the like inflation. It's just everything gets more expensive, and I want to play on the other side of the business.
Hell yeah!
So it's just part of every business or game you play, I think.
I mean, €1,000. Come on. What the fuck? That's nothing.
Yeah, a lot of expats rent it, so it's good for them. It's already furnished, so it's a win-win.
Amen to that. I mean, I had this for many, many years. I couldn't move anywhere without furniture because I needed the furniture there because the 2 suitcases you saw outside, 2 golden suitcases, that's all. That's my life. It's there.
Crazy.
Yeah, I have some stuff in some of my places in Cyprus, for example, but this is the essence of everything. My pillow is in there. I travel with a travel pillow, so I always sleep the same quality. I have a pan that I cook my steaks in when I'm in Airbnbs. And usually I have tripods there, microphones, everything. Usually I travel with my PS5 as well. This is my whole fucking life is in there, which is pretty fucking cool too. But it's strange. How come you said friends and family never pushed back on your idea? That's pretty good.
Because they are all not knowing the business side, because they are just like normal employees and they can't say much about it. So I had my parents got me really like early, so I didn't get much like you don't have to do you are not allowed to do this, you have to do this. So they just were very open what I can do, and I had to not raise myself, but it could go in the wrong direction, so maybe into drugs or something, but it developed quite well, I guess. So I didn't have that problem.
What do you think was for you the beginning, the spark that got you into entrepreneurship?
Well, I just knew that 9 to 5 isn't nothing for me, and I hated school always, even if I was very good or normal good. I even like skipped a lot of school days.
Classic.
But nobody noticed it because I was still good.
Oh, all right.
So the other kids, they got punished for it because they were never here. But I was there and still having good grades, so nobody...
You went to school in Vienna?
No, in Graz.
Oh, no shit. Okay. That's funny. So, for me, it was more like... It took me a long time to fucking understand that business is the only way to make it happen. For me, it was... I kind of grew up knowing this saying of like, if you love what you do, you never work a single day in your life. But it was more like, if I find a job that I love, then I never have to work a single day in my life. And then, so my goal was that. I was like, okay, first I wanted to become a musician, which isn't really considered a business. It's like, okay, I want to travel the world and I want to inspire people and I want to be up on a stage. That was my idea. So I started playing guitar. I started playing metal. We wanted to, which is dumb too. Like, if you want to travel the world, don't play metal. It's not going to pay well. But my goal was like to have a metal band and travel the world. And then I got injured on both arms. I had tendonitis and I couldn't play guitar anymore. So I was like, okay, well, fuck, plan B. What am I good at where I don't need my arms? And it was languages. So I started studying Latin and English and Attic Greek at the University of Vienna so I could become a language professor, which I still thought is a good gig because you have 3 months a year off, in fucking June, July, August, whatever. And I'm like, cool, if I could do that, that's pretty chill. It's a pretty fucking chill job. Shout out to all the teachers. Yeah. It's a chill job. Shut up. It's really chill. So, and then from that, I was really depressed because I couldn't move my arms. I couldn't play guitar, and that was kind of like my only purpose that was taken away from me. And from that, I said, I'm really unhappy. And of course, because I was 20 something years old, I didn't realize that the reason why I was happy was because I was deprived of my purpose. It was like, I thought I'm unhappy because I don't have a girlfriend. Because I was a shy, awkward fucking idiot from Styria, from the middle of the Alps. And I'm like, okay, if I learned that, I could be happy. So I learned it. I got better. I read books about social dynamics, about body language, about talking to people. And I started posting on a forum about my experiences. Like, today I talked to a girl and I got her number and shit like that. And then some people started asking me if I did coaching, and I'm charging some money for that. And I'm like, this is amazing. I'm getting paid to do something that I love. But it was more for me about sharing this knowledge, much more about that than the money that I was making. Because for me, it was like I discovered something really awesome. I discovered the Holy Grail. I'm like, guys, I found it. We don't have to be shy and awkward forever. We can change. This is sick. I shared it with my cousins, with my friends, with everybody. And then people started paying me for that. And then I kind of understood that, oh my God, if I could find a way to share the stuff and just make enough so I can live while traveling, that's amazing. Because I even dabbled in online poker. One of my very first clients, Andre, he's not one of my best friends. He was a poker pro. And so he booked a coaching with me in Vienna for one day, which was 150 euros. For me, it was a ton of money. Holy shit. And this guy shows up. He's like my age. And he's like, yeah, easy, 150 euros, so cheap. I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, I play poker. And I'm like, play poker? Isn't that gambling? He's like, no, it's like mathematics. It's like you learn it. And I'm like, how much are you making? And he's like my age. He's 21 years old. He's like, well, last year I made 2.2 million.
Fuck.
in profit. And I'm like, what the fuck? And what do you do? He's like, I just open my fucking computer and I just press a fucking button to play online poker. I didn't know back then he was top 4 in the world, so he was like really fucking good. So I dabbled with that, but then I realized, okay, hold on a second. I could, if I get people to want me to coach them, and I get paid enough, like just 1 or 2K a month, I could travel around while doing that and discover the world and shit like that. And that's what I then did. And then I got invited by RSD to be an unpaid intern to basically travel to the US and work for them for free. Because I thought like that's a good way to become a coach. And then I got hired. And then I started traveling the world. I went on 4 world tours. And then I built my first digital product. But there, it was 50% thinking of, okay, if I build this digital product, people could just pay me and they watch the videos. I don't have to work for it. But the other 50% was like, it's like I could put all my knowledge that I've acquired over years, like an encyclopedia, like a Bible. I can put it together and then people have it. So every time someone asks me for help, I'm just like, here's the whole package, everything you need to know. And then I think the first 3 days we made like 300K. And then the first week we made even more. And then all of a sudden I made my first million. And I'm like, oh, I'm just this fucking dude who's like making fucking videos, dancing around, telling guys how to talk to girls. And now I made $1 million. I didn't even know the difference between profit and revenue. I didn't know what revenue meant. I had to Google that shit. What is revenue? What is profit? Oh, okay. So profit is revenue minus cost, like that shit. And then the company RSD that I worked with, I was partners with them, and they're like, where do we pay the money? Like, there's like $1 million. And I'm like, to my account, like fucking Volksbank in Austria. And they're like, it was a student account, you know? So in my village, I like knew my bank tellers personally, went to school with him. And they're like, we're not sure if this is a good idea to just put this money from America to this account.
Finance authorities.
So exactly, finance authorities. And then it was so funny. And then they're like, I think you should build a company. I mean, I had my own business kind of already in a sense, but I didn't have the legal company set up. And then I had to, set up a company in the States and stuff like that. And then from there on, all of a sudden, I'm thinking in terms of like finance and costs and the profits margins. And then the funniest thing was then I'm like, I remember I would like get into this new morning routine where I would wake up, and I would check the numbers of everything. I would check the numbers of my social media, check the comments, check the performance of the videos that I had. That was back in the days when Instagram didn't have videos yet. So I checked the performance of the photos and the videos on YouTube, and also like how much money I made overnight. And I'm like, this feels a lot like the video games I used to play. I used to play a lot of these city builder video games where you check numbers a lot. And I'm like, I'm getting really addicted to this, but it's a real life game. It's not a video game. It's like I'm gathering experience points and I'm making real money, and then I can do shit with that real money in real life. And that's how I got really hooked on the business side of things. And that's why I asked you, what made you get into this? So for you, it was just like, you're sick and tired of the 9 to 5. Did you have any sort of background in business?
Nothing.
Did you go to Hack or any of these business?
Just graphic design school, which totally different. But no business people in my family, no business like people I know.
Wow.
Just I don't want to work for this guy anymore. Just do it ourselves. And it was just like, if I knew it was that hard in the beginning, I'm not sure if people would do that, also building their business, because it gets so hard. It's not for everyone being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But now I'm in it, so I can't go back. So in the first years, I also like needed to like get money, also to finance the business, to invest in it. And I remember doing things like working 2 months for Primark, for example, and folding the things. So, and I knew I can't have a boss.
What are some, because you said entrepreneurship is not for everyone. What are the character traits, in your opinion, that are most important for entrepreneurship?
Well, I guess you shouldn't be too smart, because you overthink everything. So even when you're smart, you have to put that off and just do it. And just push it, create a wall so you don't get like emotionally connected to the wins and losses. And never stop. And just do like what you do, because otherwise you will stop sooner or later.
You do strike me as very stoic. You have a very stoic mindset. Especially when you said disconnect your emotions from it, which I love. It's like one of the most important things ever. Because that fucking roller coaster ride is going to ruin you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, do enjoy the highs. Don't get me wrong. When you have a high, fucking ride it. But then also know that the next low is around the corner. And when it does hit, it's fine. Chill. You got this. Yeah. Did you read any Stoics? Any Stoicism philosophy at all?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Do you read any books?
Yeah, I do.
What was the last interesting books you read?
I try to be very selective. So nowadays I don't read as much, because sometimes it's always the same.
Yeah.
But what was the last book? It was like from Alex Hormozi.
No shit. The $100 million offers?
Yeah.
Nice. It's a good one. I read that too.
It's a good one, yeah.
Yeah. That was the last one. Your audiobook or real book?
Real book.
No shit.
Yeah.
I can't do real books at all.
I can't do audiobooks.
Really? So you're a visual learner?
Yeah. If I just hear it, I pass out.
That is so. For me, it's the opposite. It's just like I read a page and then I'm like, I have no idea what I read. I read it again. Fuck. And this whole thing about like sitting down, I don't have the fucking time for that. Or maybe I don't take it the time, you know? But the audiobook is, here's the funny thing about audiobook. If I listen to an audiobook on the regular speed, it's exactly the same. Like you said, I fall asleep. Fuck this. But if I listen to it like on 1.5 to 2, it's so fast that my mind is like, yo, you need to focus to pay attention. And then I'm just like really focused. And I love doing audiobooks, especially when I'm physically doing something else, when my body has to do something else. So when I cook my morning steak, for example, cooking steak is really fast. It's like you sear it on both sides, 2 minutes each. If it's a little thicker, then it's more like 3 to 4 minutes. So that's like 6 minutes, maybe a couple minutes more because you're putting seasoning on. But that's really it. It's not enough for me to have a chef do that. Although I'm currently discussing it with my girlfriend that we hire a chef that just cooks nonstop. But that's the perfect thing for me, to listen to audiobooks, because I'm physically doing something else. It's better to cook in silence, and it's better than cooking in silence. It's better than cooking with fucking music on. So that way I can read books. I think I read about 30 books a year or something like that. And also when I fly somewhere, in an airplane and shit like that. And then what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so why do you think entrepreneurship is such a male-dominated field?
Because as a woman, it's really hard. And I experience it so often that even when I'm better than the man besides me or some men, they don't take me seriously. So I played this game a long time with the masculine side. So as a female, putting masculine traits like pushing, like bragging about stuff and everything, but that's just not how it works as a female. You have to play the game completely different, and there is not much content out there from really top-notch females, I think, that you can learn from, because business content is mostly from men.
Okay, hold on a second. So that is something really interesting. So you said you cannot try to have this masculine energy as a woman. Instead, you kind of try to tap into the female side of things. You gave some good examples for the masculine side of things. What are some good examples of female energy demeanors in business?
So a good example, I think it was just yesterday. We were at the building authority because with one of our apartments we had to check if we can put the wall away from the kitchen to the living room. And we spoke with this building master who has this information, who can tell us this. And first my boyfriend talked to him, and he was super angry, and I don't tell you this and don't tell you this. And I'm telling him, give me the phone. And I was asking really kind and everything, just not in a flirty way, just with a woman voice, I guess. And he changed completely. So men want to help women, and that's one of the key things you have to play in this game.
Oh, that's genius.
And men also tell you all their secret stuff, even if you're their competitor. They always underestimate you, and that's the power you have.
Damn. That is so... I've never thought about it that way, because I thought exactly like you said, you got to have the elbows, you got to fight your way through. No. This is so genius. They're going to tell you anyways. So you've had competitors tell you their secrets.
Yeah.
Walk me through that. How did you do that?
They just tell you how they got their clients, how they do their approaching, which exact email they write, their content, everything.
How did he tell you though?
You just asked them
and asked them, or you met them in at a coffee or something like that.
Imagine meeting them at an event, you don't know them, and as a guys you say, I make 50K a month, I make this, I have this and this clients. And as a woman you can ask, what's your strategy? What's your view on this? How you can do that? How you can help me, or how to get that client? Can you give me a contact? And they will do it.
Stupid man. Damn it, we're stupid. Don't do this, guys. You hear me? When a woman walks up to you, don't share all the secrets with her.
They can't do nothing about it. They just will.
Do you think that is because they don't expect you to compete?
Yeah, they don't see you as a threat.
That is so funny. Fuck. Now my brain is rattling with how many times have I given away my secrets to a woman? Shit. Okay, that is some pretty damn valuable things. Is there anything else you think you can leverage as a woman in terms of mindsets or demeanors or energy that you're putting out there that you have as an advantage over men?
Women can so much better deal with emotions. They have
really?
Yeah, I think so.
In terms of frustration, setbacks, etc.?
I think they have a higher tolerance also of stress. Because as a man, maybe they get stressed out, they get angry, moody. But I think as a woman, in general, you have a higher stress, tolerance. Because as a woman, you have, if you imagine a mother dealing their kids, a business, their husband, a second child is the husband. Nobody sees this, but it's we can manage so many things. And I think we have a good intuition, so we can read other people, other persons better than men.
That for sure.
And also
100%.
Talk in a different way, and men don't see that. If the little nuances in a sales call or talking to people, they don't see it.
Yeah.
That this talk will go into that direction, and as a woman, you can spot it and put it in a different direction that you want.
I can wholeheartedly agree with that, especially after having worked with men in my first business for so many years. We are fucking retarded with social calibration. I know this from how long it took me to figure this shit out. I would talk to someone and they would like not smile at me. And I'm like, after 10 minutes, I'm like, I don't think they like me. They're not smiling. Let me test it, And then I would make a joke and they're not smiling. Like, oh, okay. Like that was me for a long time. And now I've since moved on 99% from the operations and sales, but for like 2 years as we had to figure out cold traffic, it was me doing almost nonstop sales team. Nowadays, shout out to Nico, our head of sales and chief sales manager, chief sales coach in our company as well. He's taken all of that over and he's gotten really, really good. But I've seen this a lot with reviewing sales calls. You listen to the recording and you literally hear the prospect say exactly what it is that they're feeling, and you can see him, and the sales rep doesn't see it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you don't see the shit?
It's in your eyes.
Exactly. It's like, it's right there. Like, dude, are you paying attention? It's such a male thing to overlook these nuances and just look at the overall big picture too much. And one of the biggest things I always say when people ask me, like, what is like the things you look for in good sales guys, or hey Max, I want to work with you in sales as a setter or as a closer, what would you say is like the most important character trait? And I'm like, you gotta listen. But even that doesn't really encompass it properly, because people are like, oh yeah, I'm listening, they say they want to make money, I'm like, no, listen with everything and fucking look at what they're doing, because every human being, especially in sales, tells you how they want to be sold. They tell you it's all there. You don't have to fucking guess. But a lot of sales guys, they don't listen, and then they have to guess. And then they basically try everything until maybe they get the close, maybe not. But there's not a system behind it. In reality, it's like if you actually just fucking pay attention, you listen and you look at them and you hear their tonality and you look at their face, and like you said, you feel where in what direction the talk is going. That's how you actually do a close properly. And the reason why I know this is because I am a short, awkward Austrian that ended up dating a lot of women out of his league because I had to pick up on what they're saying. I'm like, oh, this girl talks about her brothers all the time, so maybe family is important for her, so I should talk about my family. Like, that was my dumbass caveman brain, and that's how I learned it, and it's exactly the same in sales. Now, do you get a lot of girls reaching out to you that are like younger that say, yo, this shit is inspiring, can you help me?
Actually not, because I think a lot of girls are looking for this businesswoman that talk about manifestation and all this stuff.
No shit.
So I think there should be a change, because women have their abilities, but they are just watching manifestation stuff from these other business female gurus that doesn't bring them like results. You can manifest what you want, you have to put in work as well.
Damn, it's very true. A lot of women are into this. Just believe the money will come.
Yeah.
Say these 3 money sentences.
I receive.
Yeah, you will receive. Yeah. Ask the universe.
Yeah.
Why do you think is that they're resonating with this bullshit so much?
Well, on the one hand, it's good because it's like a female trait to receive, but it goes like in that direction that they have to do no work, and it's yin and yang, so female and masculine energy, and not just female energy and receiving. So you also have to put output there. What
do you think? I get a ton of female listeners. They're listening to this. They're like, man, Janina's crushing it. I have no idea how I start a business. I have no idea what kind of business I would start. Can you give me 3, 4, 5 pieces of advice on how to start?
Get a coach.
Okay.
Because it takes so much less time to succeed. And I had coaches myself, and takes, you save so much time, and believe in yourself. And as a woman, you always have to not brag, but emphasize your wins even more, because we women tend to be like, oh yeah, I did that, but it was just because of that, and they play it like small. when a man, they are like, I did that and they made 1K and they said, oh, I make 50K. So as a woman, we have to also use this a little bit and emphasize a little bit on this.
That's
things.
a good one. You guys are too humble.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. What would you, and I ask this to almost everyone I have on my podcast. Imagine you have a future daughter. She's 15, 16. She comes up to you and she's like, Mom, I want to build a business. What do you do?
You will have a lot of headache, but it's worth it. But I would always build in a team, because if you do it alone, it can get lonely. You can break from it. But if you're having a team, maybe as a second person, it's much easier and then it's doable.
What business model would you recommend them?
Like, it always changes, but right now I think I would do something with AI agency. It's not common in the German-speaking market, but I think in the USA it's already a big thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, AI, I think.
Would you give them money so they could start, or would you tell them, no, you go make your own first?
Well, a little bit. You have to.
Oh,
give
yeah?
them, yeah, but then they have to like maybe use just like, I don't know. You don't need much to start a business. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, you give them 10K, but that's it. So they should earn themselves.
That's pretty good though. 10K, I would take that as a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I think especially the younger generation is getting bombarded more than ever with so many different opportunities, and it's really fucking hard to understand which of these opportunities are actually good, because marketers ruin everything, and it's partially my fault, partially your fault, people like us, because of course we have an offer and a business model, and we're like, how can we package this nicely, right? Because we're incentivized by that. We want to help more clients. So, and then you get people of like, well, this sounds really fucking easy. The AI trading bot that trades for me in Bitcoin, it makes me money, right? I'm gonna do that. I think I reflect about this quite a lot. Like, when I have a son or a daughter coming to me and they say, what business models should I pick? I would tell them to really look into it and not expect it to be fucking easy. If you come in with the mindset of like, I want shit to be easy, it can't. That's not how the world works. None of this shit is gonna be easy. Now, what you can do though is you can align yourself with the right business model so that when it gets hard, it's still fun for you. So it will be at least perceived more easily. It will be perceived more as easy as than it actually is. It's never going to be completely fucking easy. And also, it's difficult to see the people that you're looking up to in the correct light in terms of knowing that they've been fucking struggling. Because of course on social media you want to share the wins. You want to show how you're driving the nice car, the nice vacation. You're not gonna, when you're crying on the fucking kitchen table because you had the shittiest week of your life, you're not gonna put the video out like, hey, I'm crying, check it out. You're not gonna do that. So for me personally, it's always been important to share as much of the negative stuff and as much as the boring grind as possible in between as well. Because I'm like, I don't want my brand to stand for, oh, it's all so easy. I do want people to understand that, yeah, there is easier business models, and especially nowadays with AI, a lot of it can be done for you. But at the same time, you have to have resilience. It's going to be boring sometimes. You have to grind. You have to push through fucking bullshit. Because if you can't do that, and if you're not ready to do that, then you're going to give up. You're going to try it, and then you have one issue, like one renter that is an asshole, and you're just going to fucking give up. And then you give up before you built something beautiful. That could have been something beautiful, but you gave up on it.
Yeah.
And that can never fucking happen, whether you're a woman or a man, or it doesn't matter who or where you are or where you're starting from. It's a modern exercise in persistence and resilience. And at the same time, when you do go through this, the person you become on the other end is, you 2.0, you 3.0, you 16.0, and it's just like you. And then at some points I'm sure you've had these moments too where maybe you take a shower, maybe you're in the car, maybe you're sitting at a steakhouse, and you're like, wait a minute, what's been going on the last 4 years?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. How far have I come? Oh my God, and you're just grateful as fuck. You're like, because you're so in the grind sometimes that you're like, I can't believe I bought this car. It's my dream car. I can't believe I live in this place. I can't believe I talked to that person and I made this money. Like, holy, what the fuck? It overwhelms you all of a sudden. You get like reality catches up with you and you're like, fuck, I wouldn't want to change that for the world.
Yeah.
It's the highest highs, the lowest lows.
Yeah,
and the highs are always worth it.
And you have to like appreciate the things and be in the moment, because as entrepreneurs, we're always like getting the next goal.
Yeah.
But step back, also experience while you're young your successes, and yeah. And also what I wanted to say before, as an advice, you always see the fancy business models like social media agency, OnlyFans agency. So everyone is doing that if there's so much content out there. So think about also boring businesses. Like there are so many businesses you don't see on social media where you can do a really lot of money, because if you're doing just social media in this business, you're like top 1% already.
Very good point. Barber. I talked to a barber the other day. This guy was like, we're making like 50, 60K a month.
Like crazy.
What the fuck? No kid is like, I want to be a barbershop owner. You know what I mean? It's insane. There's business models out there that are so stupid fucking boring that make so much. Or like, I saw this the other day, like trash servicing or whatever it's called. They're just like picking up trash and like
crazy.
So insane. And it's such an unsexy business model, but you know, the money's fucking real. And to be honest, real estate too. Real estate has the reputation of like, right? Because the questions I asked, I'm like, but isn't it risky? Like, don't I have to put the 150K? And I'm like, wait a minute, no, this sounds fucking cool. I had no idea. I think that's important. That's one thing that the generations have to understand. The younger generation specifically, of like, just look beyond the facade, look beyond the sexy, shining, flashy object, and just look at how easy is it to operate. How aligned is it with your strengths too? That's a big one. Because for example, it took me fucking years to figure that out. My primary and secondary skill sets are talking, in case you haven't noticed. It's talking, content creation. That is where I excel at, specifically video. I'm aware that I'm charismatic, or I come across as charismatic on video. I'm aware that I can put concepts into easily digestible bits. And I love doing it too. I love it. I love nothing more than when I find out something, I want to fucking talk about it. A great example of that is on this podcast channel. I have a 2-hour how to hire a sales team, how to build an A-player sales team, I think it's called. And that was not, it was not like, oh, let's put out this fucking boring 2-hour monologue podcast episode where I'm talking about sales. There was no strategy behind it. It was just me having figured this shit out over 2 fucking years, and I'm like, I want to share this shit. So that's my primary strength. And so, for example, when you're starting a business, spend a weekend in introspection to really find out, what am I good at? Because if you can leverage that as within your position in your own business, that's how you can fucking excel at it. Just like my aforementioned sales manager, Nico, he's extremely good at building a tribe within the team. He's extremely good at finding out the nuances about sales. He's done thousands of sales calls. So no shit, he's going to do that. If he would say, I want to build my own business, make content, he's not going to do content as well. He's probably not even going to be excited about that. So it's key for you as a person to understand, what is my primary and secondary skill and how can I leverage that? And then also, as an extension of that, what are the primary and secondary skills of my staff, and how can I put them in a position where they can thrive with that? Because like you said, at some point, you can't do this shit alone. You can grow to a degree alone, but at some point it's about the strength of your team, and you need to find out who's good at what position.
This question sounds so easy, but it takes also the best entrepreneurs a long time to figure that out, in which area they're really good at. Because they think they're good in sales, but in reality, it's a completely different thing.
I mean, it's another male-dominated thinking. Oh, I'm really good at sales. I'm so everything, bro. There's three things men think they're good at out of experience. I can tell this. I'm talking down on a lot of men now today, but there's three things we men think we're good at, but we're not. It's number one, fighting. Every man thinks they can win a fight until they get punched in the face. Like, oh shit. Number two, getting a girl. Everybody thinks, oh, I could get a girl if I want to, until they fucking approach 10 women and get 10 rejections. And then the third one is everybody thinks they're good at sales until they're in a sales call and they stumble and they're like, oh, this sucks. But you can get good at this, guys, okay? We're all the men out there. You can get really good at all three of them. What are sort of your primary and secondary strengths that you figured out over the years?
Like creativity. So not even like in like presenting stuff, but also like finding solutions nobody else thinks about. So that's one of my strengths. I think creativity is.
How do you apply the creativity in the real estate part, if at all?
Like marketing the apartment, so we get the best price, but also like imagine how we can make the most out of it. Like if you buy a 2-room apartment, like do a like shared space where 2 people can live, like VG, and like you have to be creative to visualize things how you can model the apartment and how you can solve certain issues.
So do you do the interior design yourself? Are you involved in it, or do you just let a designer do his thing?
Well, I'm not speaking about interior design, but just, of course, that's a thing I can do, and I do, but actually the apartments are not that perfectly designed, because I focus on not perfection nowadays, but on getting things done. So it's more like putting the best out of the apartment, and my business partners or my business partner, they don't see this stuff. So it's just ways I can think they can't, but they can other things were better than me.
How do you market? Because you said like you market an apartment the best possible way, so you get the best possible pay for that. How can I imagine that?
Well, just one very, very easy thing is like picture, how the pictures are structured. What's the first picture? Which picture is the best picture for the person to see that they can think of living there? And it's like from the model industry, I had to select the pictures of the models. What sells them like the best?
Oh, no shit.
And therefore,
what type of picture does sell the model the best?
Depends on the model, but it has to have certain standards, and everything that is on social media probably isn't the best pictures.
Damn, that's so okay. I have so many questions. So for the model specifically, do you look at like their facial expressions or the lighting, or what are the things you look at?
You have to see the faces and the book or the pictures of the model in front to see which are the best pictures. Okay. So the model has to be very good visible. The model has to look their best, of course. The model has to had a shooting with a very good photographer that really captured her essence, because they're really beautiful models having pictures where they don't look good.
How much of that is gut feeling versus a logical explanation of what pictures is the best?
I have employees that worked for 20 years in this industry as bookers, and you might say they know it quite well or similar to me, but it's also a lot of gut feeling and just works. It's just the intuition.
And then with the apartment, you choose the pictures. I guess there's a more logical approach than, because it's not a human that needs to be captured in terms of essence. So I guess you talk about like when you put the apartment up online on whatever living websites, and then people can find them there. What is the best photo to put there?
Depends on the apartment. So it's not just putting the best picture, also the text. It's also like marketing. So
give me some crash course in it.
So for example, you can take a picture of the living room, of the wall where maybe the couch will be standing. Yeah. But you can take the picture where you see the amazing view. Okay. Or sometimes better. It's better to take a photo of the bathroom because it's like very high quality instead of the living room that is more looking normal.
Okay, that kind of sounds way more logical than I thought. Yeah, okay, makes total sense. All right. With the text, the headline, what are you looking for there? Do you just make shit up like this is a family, perfect for the family place? Or is it more about the facts? Or is it a combination of both?
But it's kind of a copywriting as well. So
Yeah.
have to speak about all the advantages, like maybe speak about how it's in there living there. So imagine going into the terrace in the morning, having a cup of coffee there, for example, and stuff like that.
Okay. And then people reach out and be like, hey, I'll be interested. Can I go visit this place? And then when you do that, do you let groups of people come or do you do one-on-one sightings or whatever it's called?
Like mostly one day full of viewings.
Which is kind of smart because now they feel the pressure.
Yeah,
Like
of course,
there's all these
yeah.
other motherfuckers that want to get
Everywhere
the
is marketing. So
Good. I remember that. My first student apartment in Vienna. It was such a shitty place. It was at Viertalergasse in the 12th district, close to Philadelphia Brücke. And it was like a ground level apartment. Whereas like people are walking outside on the walking thing. And but we wanted it because it had 4 rooms and we were 3 dudes that were living together. And the guy did exactly the same. The owner, he said, "Oh yeah, come, I'll open the thing for you. You guys can check it out." And of course, he made it sound super nice, like it will only be us. And then we show up and it's like 30 people.
yeah.
And we're like instantly panicking. We're like, they're gonna take the place. Fuck. Which put us under so much pressure. So we're like checking it out and we're like, guys, are you guys ready? Let's go tell them we're gonna say yes. And we're like, yeah, we'll take it. He's like, cool, I'll put you guys on the list because there's 6 other couples have just said yes. And we're like 4 dudes. So we're like, no, we're so fucked. We did get it though. We did get it. I pushed really fucking hard. And it's exactly what he said. That he marketed that shit properly.
And you see, even the shitty apartments in a good location.
It's a really shitty place. Oh, it was so cold in the winter because there was nothing heating underneath us, you know? It was all fucking cold. I would see the shadows of the people walk in my window. It was a milked out window, whatever.
I would never buy that.
Yeah, oh, so bad. But it was my first place. We were so proud of it. We were so happy. And then the funniest thing was we were so head over heels wanted to get the place that on the way, at night, I woke up the next morning. I'm like, I don't think we have an oven, guys. Did you guys see an oven when we checked? And they're like, oh no, fuck, we don't have a fucking oven. And then we were so obsessed with the idea that there was like 3 relatively same-sized rooms, because that was important for us, that it's kind of fair, that everybody had a good same-sized room, that we completely forgot about the kitchen. The kitchen had no windows. The kitchen was in the hallway between the rooms. There was one fucking oven plate thingy on there and a fridge and a sink. There was no dishwasher, not even a fucking oven. And we were so fucked. And then we got this like pizza oven from Billa, you know, where like half a pizza fits in so we could make fucking pizza. And again, like a kitchen with, it did not have a what is it called, like a fan thingy. It didn't have that, and no window. So you would cook, and the smoke and it would go through the entire apartment. It was so dumb, but it was our first fucking place. I'll never forget.
And you got it.
And we fucking got it. And then and then we had problems with the toilet. Like literally the first month, the that was so funny. So the plumbing from the toilet would go underneath the bathroom. There was a separate bathroom and a toilet. So the plumbing from there would go underneath the bathroom, and there was this like mini hole in the bathroom that was connected to the plumbing from the toilet. And then something in the toilet was clogged, that the water from when you would flush the toilet, the water would come up into the bathroom and cover the floor.
Shit.
So and we didn't realize that. So it would flood the entire bathroom, and then it would flood out into the rooms. The toilet water was in the fucking rooms. I never talked about this, but now that I'm totally getting flashbacks. And that was in the first fucking month, and we're like panicking. We're like, did we break it? Oh my God, the first place. We fought so hard to get the fucking place. And then And then so we emailed the owner about this problem, and he just shows up unannounced like the next day, and we were fucking 3 dudes. So the place was trash. We had, I think, like 50 beer cans that were empty, and the trash was filled over, so we just started throwing the beer cans in the corner. And if we had known, we would have cleaned up the place. Yeah. But the owner shows up unannounced, and he comes in, there's like 50 beer cans on the floor, and it stinks, and he's super angry. He's like, what did you do? Did you put the beer cans in the toilet? And we're like, no. So it sucked. And then it turns out, and then we fucked around for like 3 fucking weeks, where you couldn't use the toilet too much, you couldn't use other water too much. And then it turns out that he didn't maintain the plumbing properly, that it slowly got congested over 50 years or however how old the stupid building was. And it was totally not our fault. And then some plumber guy had to clean it through, and then it worked. But that was just a horrible experience.
Sounds like a trauma of you.
Complete trauma. I haven't thought about that in 15 years, however long it is. So yeah, that was traumatic as hell. I can't remember how we talked about this now. I don't know how we got to this. But that was my experience with Vienna. And I remember that we paid like 600 per person or something like that. Now that I think about it, when you tell me like 1K for a decent apartment, we paid way more than that. Yeah. And that was 2009. 2009. And then the first jobs I had was as a resident assistant for a student exchange company. They didn't pay me, but they paid my apartment. And that was huge. I moved out of that place into a place that was on the 4th floor, which was a complete game changer, because you wouldn't see the shadows of the people fucking walking in and out anymore. But that was that. In terms of, because you mentioned so many times before, like good area. What are the best districts in Vienna right now in terms of the highest upside?
Well, Vienna in general, because if you think about it as a city in Austria, I mean, there are not much other markets that make sense, maybe Salzburg or Innsbruck. But other than that, just Vienna, and you can buy pretty much everywhere, just not too much outside. Because if you compare it with rents like Paris, London, Berlin, Vienna is still very cheap. So it just can rise because we got so many people from abroad. It's perfect market right now.
Interesting. And what do you look at in terms of location? So you want to buy a place. How do you find out about places to buy anyways? What's the process there? Do you have someone that finds out constructions and sends you them?
We have like some like alarms when there's something coming online from on market. We get a notification and we check it every day if there's something like interesting. And other than that, also off market, and also like acquisition, so like acquisition, yeah.
And then when you say like you're checking for specific good locations, what is a couple things that you're looking for?
I would say like micro location is maybe more important in Vienna because everything is pretty good connected.
What is micro location? What is that?
So like you shouldn't buy like in the 10th district next to Reumannplatz. Is like the worst place in Vienna, in Austria.
Why?
Because there's a lot of like criminals and not the best place. So yeah, check the location. Like if you want to live there, if you would feel safe there, if it's like beautiful location, I think that's the most important thing in a good city like Vienna.
Interesting. What I see a lot more is now coming to Austria. It's a very American system of these like buildings that have everything inside the building already. They usually come with a sort of concierge lobby type of thingy, and you have a gym in there and like a pool and rooftop and shit like that. You see this coming more and more to Vienna as well?
Yeah, but we're still so late to this. But there are some buildings that have this, but still they're too expensive. It doesn't pay off as an investor, I think, because they're like double or triple the price.
But you could also rent them for double, triple the price, no?
Not so much.
So the profit margins are actually lower for that as the owner?
Course, yeah.
No shit. Why? You can't. That sounds so weird.
Because I can rent out like an apartment that costs like 150K, as I said, for like 1K a month. It's easy. I can even go higher if I put more work into it. But if you want to buy such an apartment, also 30 square meters in such a building, I think it would be 250K or 300K to buy this. So you can buy 3 apartments for the same.
I get you. Okay, that makes sense. That's a pretty interesting concept. And then, have you ever thought of using the skill set that you've acquired through all that in terms of like buying and flipping other things, like cars, for example?
Well, I don't have knowledge about cars.
Okay.
So apartments are really my passion. So
Do you do houses at all?
not yet.
Is that a goal of yours?
Yes, but not in Austria. I would do it like maybe Mallorca or locations like that.
Why not in Austria?
There is not many houses, and then you have to renovate them, and they're still already so expensive. And I would just only buy in good locations. And around Vienna, houses are like maybe 700K or 1 million.
Yeah.
And I can buy so much more apartments from that.
Have you noticed any sort of like what I've seen a lot, and I've had some real estate folks tell me about this, when COVID hit and all these companies said, okay, we're going to do home office. And then people realized, wait a minute, I can work from home from my laptop. Why do I live in a fucking city? It's loud, the air sucks, there's crime, there's no nature, right? Like I live in a fucking tiny cramped apartment with my dog and my family. And I could spend way less money living in, like my hometown, Bad Aussee, for example. I got a fucking lake, I got mountains, fresh air. I pay like a tenth, or maybe not a tenth, but like a fifth of the rent I would pay there. There's no crime, no noise. Plus nowadays, the biggest disadvantage of like villages like this used to be shitty infrastructure, right? Like you couldn't buy food after 6 p.m. when everything was closed. Not anymore. Like there's, these places nowadays, they have supermarkets that are open super long. You can get anything, even on the fucking weekend. And you have a mountain lake in front of you. Beautiful nature. You can hike around. And again, like now that these companies don't require you to be there in person anymore, you can just work online. Do you see any sort of trend that real estate in these remoter places in Austria are going up? That there is more opportunity to invest there because the prices are going to get higher?
I think it's pretty much the same as before, because in these beautiful locations, as you said, with a lake or something, it's already quite expensive to buy.
Okay.
So in this case, not so much, but in Vienna, or especially in Graz, because there is a lot of newer buildings, the competition is really high there. So if you don't have a balcony there, and this got worse after Corona, so you have to have a balcony, for example, in Graz to have an apartment that really goes well, you rent out well.
Balcony is something that people look for? I never gave
One
a
of
shit
the
about
things,
a
yeah.
fucking balcony. It's funny. I never gave a damn about a balcony. That's interesting. And how come Graz, because you mentioned it earlier too, how come Graz has too many apartments? It's a student city, isn't it?
Yeah, but the people, the government, they built so much, but not so many people coming. So all the people that lived in like not so good places moved in these super new apartments. So you can't compete with a regular apartment, really.
Do you compete with the government on things like that? Because we have so many government sponsored programs, they give away apartments for super cheap.
Not so much, but also the private like companies that build buildings there. Graz has so much space, so that's the problem. Because in Salzburg, there is not much more space there, the mountains, but Graz you can expand, and there are more newer buildings, but not so many people moving in there.
Damn. I think over the last 2 hours or whatever we talk, I've learned more about real estate than ever before. When people listen to this and they say, okay, I want to learn from Janina, I want to work with her, I have a place I want to sell or I want to buy, do you help people to buy stuff?
Of course.
So how would that work? They come to you and they say, can I invest in some of your projects or something like that?
So we work also with investors. If they want to invest with us, we build a relationship and buy apartments together. So we can do, of course, more apartments. And if they already have a lot of money that they want to invest. And on the other side, if they want just to buy the first apartment, I partner with my boyfriend, who we do the coaching with, and we learn everything, what to look out for if you buy the first apartment. And the other thing, if you don't want to do anything yourself and look for apartments, do the coaching. As I said, there is this thing in Germany. If you have a good job, I think you have to do in Austria like make 2.4K net. In Germany is a bit less. You can invest even without taking money off you. And
so crazy.
You just have to pay like €100 per month over the like credit. And you have your first apartment that is managed for you. So you don't have to do anything.
Pretty sick. How much of a cut do you guys take when people invest with you?
Like we often do 50-50.
Wow, that's pretty chill. And you don't have to do anything. You guys manage everything.
Depends. So we only take the investors where we can do big projects. So it makes sense. Yeah.
Interesting. So when people want to learn from you, they want to work with you, what's the best way to contact you, find you?
Instagram. So just my name, Janina Karelly, and just write me there.
We're going to put it in the description below as well. Your boyfriend stuff, we want to link as well. If they want to check him out, or just you.
They find him through my
they do.
profile.
Cool.
Yes.
Websites, YouTube, you guys got as well?
He has, but I'm still working on it. It's
All
not
right.
on my to-do list yet.
I love it. And you reply to your DMs yourself?
I still do, yeah.
Wow, that's sick. Yeah, boom. Well, folks, check her out. And by the way, thanks for teaching me all the shit, my super stupid questions. I really appreciate that. It's been super duper interesting to talk to you.
But I think it's so funny because you have such a big network and real estate is like everywhere, and that you never learned so much about it.
I never really thought about it that much. I never, like I said, like now we're in a position where like I gotta start thinking more and more about where to park my cash. So it's never been top of mind that much, especially in Austria now. I've talked to a lot of people about like Dubai, Cyprus, etc., which is a little bit more wild west feeling.
Yeah.
But specifically for Austria, I've been very, very interested in that. And that was also one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you.
Thank you so much, Max.
Thanks. It's been a pleasure. Let's go crush. GG, folks.
On this podcast, I talk to a lot of great entrepreneurs, big brands, and people that are absolutely crushing it in their fields. If you want to work with me one-on-one to help you start your business, scale your business, automate your business, use AI to make money online, even if you've never done anything like this before, then go ahead and use the link down in the description below to apply to work with me directly and my team. We're going to be working with you one-on-one. We're going to help you make a ton of money. We're going to help you automate your business. Whatever it is that you want to be doing or that you are doing already, we can probably help you. If you're making less than $500,000 a month, you want to get to that level, we can probably help you. So link down in the description below. Thank you so much for listening / watching and being part of the Max Tornow podcast crew. I appreciate the hell out of you, and talk soon.